And with that, I'll welcome you to my video on the ISU-122-2. The tank, which, as you probably have seen yesterday, was predicted in the leak. It is there, as you could see from the videos from Skill and Quickie Baby, etc, etc. And here we are with my video, because finally I was also able to test it. And I have to be completely honest, I only played 6 games so far with 2200 average. This thing has a lot more potential. Definitely. And I can already say this right now, this thing is fun to play and unique, which makes it even more fun to play because it is not uniquely in the sense of a TL7, which is bad, but it's unique. This tank is unique and it's decent, even good, I would argue. The main selling point of this thing obviously is the 2 noses, aka the 2 guns, which have 390 alpha each and almost 260 base pen and 300mm of heat pen. The reload is actually really decent for those guns, 8.75 seconds, giving it a DPM of 2600, which is fairly high. It's better than the Nomad, it's even better than the SU-130 PM. So this is not bad. However, the main selling point of this thing is that it is engineered in that way by Wargaming to really utilize the salvo mechanic. It has 2 guns, use them. Because when you look at the Object 703, you have 3 seconds preparation time to shoot both guns. After that, you need to wait 4 seconds until you need to wait an additional 11 seconds for the guns to start loading again. So you have around 15 seconds of downtime until your next shot is ready. This is not the case with the 122-2. With the 122-2, you prepare, which takes 2 seconds, which is coincidentally almost as much as your aim time, which is actually fairly interesting. I didn't 100% tested it yet, but my gut feeling and from what I felt during the game, it looked like if you stop and start preparing your shot, you will be aimed in almost fully when the double shot is ready. So you can kind of cut down on this downtime of you having to reload or rather aim in. Decent. But going back, you need 2 seconds to prepare your salvo. Then you shoot and you have 1 second until the gun starts loading again, which means you need, instead of 17.5 seconds for both guns to be loaded, you need 18.5 seconds or 9.75 seconds for 1 gun to be loaded again, which is still very good. And the other thing which kind of talks against using this gun in a cyclic mode is you have 7 seconds to switch between those guns. So you shoot 7 seconds and only then the other gun is ready. On the 703 it is 5 seconds. So truly, the ISU-122-2 is really made to try and shoot both guns at the same time. To that, again, you have pretty good aim time, like 2 second base, which you can push down. You have great accuracy for a Russian tank, and it's fun. Like, I can't say it else. It's fun to play. The main drawbacks are obviously that you are very miffed if you miss a shot, or a double shot rather, because you kind of lost now 18 seconds of reload. And you need an additional, or you need 9, almost 10 seconds to finally be able to shoot again, which is kind of annoying. Also to that, you don't have the best angles left and right. It's not too bad, but it's not the best. And obviously, as already mentioned yesterday, this tank is Russian, meaning it doesn't have depression, because in Mother Russia, you are not allowed to be depressed. We are speaking about 5 degrees of gun depression, which is meh. But the fact that the gun handling is pretty darn good, and that you can use, for example, IRM, makes this tank a lot of fun to snapshot with. But now, I would say we talk about the armor. And this tank is a glass cannon. Nothing else to say. Yes, you might say, oh, it's red, but this has 200mm of armor max. Which means that a Burask with standard rounds, yes, it will struggle. But as soon as it loads premium, everything is green. Because the upper plate, which is coincidentally also where your fuel tank and your engine is and your transmission is 100 millimeters thick, meaning that even tier 6 vehicles can penetrate that, and even tier 6 vehicles are even able to burn you. Yes, that is fairly annoying. And it also means that even though you can try to play hull down, there is no real point in it because everybody can penetrate this fairly easily anyway, at least from tier 7 to tier 8 tanks. And obviously higher tier vehicles like tier 9 and tier 10 have no issue whatsoever. Your side armor is also fairly big with 50 millimeters or 65 millimeters. Your engine roof 35, meaning you're an arty target, and your belly is 20 millimeters. And you have the same weak spot as the BZ from yesterday, with the armor up here being also only 20 millimeters, meaning you can get detracked with damage and you stand there like a fool. Again, you also have 1300 hit points, which is not too bad. But the fact that you can't really bounce anything at all means that this is your only HP buffer. And I've played it a little bit too aggressive in some situations. It just tended for me that your survivability is pretty poor. But again, it is a glass cannon, so maybe I played it a little bit too aggressive in certain situations. But keep that in mind, if you get this tank, it does not have armor. But what it does have is surprisingly pretty decent mobility. Because for some reason it goes 40 kph at top speed. It has almost 15 HP per ton ratio. It has 20 kph in reverse, and that is a big selling point because the main point of the ISU-122-2 is you want to trade. You want to drive around the corner, they shoot you for like 300, 400 damage, but you slap them back for 800 basically. And having the ability to retreat fairly quickly with really good traverse speed is a big plus. When you then now start using something like a bounty turbocharger, you get 45 kph top speed as well as 23 kph in reverse and 16.6 HP per ton ratio. That is stout. That is actually really, really, really good. And it makes this tank fun to play. Again, it has good accuracy on the move. It has good aim time, and it's a agile mofo. Like, it's go wiggle, 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 wiggle. That makes it fun to play. And it allows you also to adjust to the battlefield a lot easier than some other tank destroyers do, like an ISU-122, which is just very slow and sluggish. This thing zooms basically around the battlefield for a tank destroyer with also surprising amounts of armor, which still don't really mean anything. Camo, kind of hard to tell. On paper, it shouldn't have too bad camo, but from my playtime, I have to say, you know, not bad, but also not good. Like, Another thing which was actually fairly surprising in my opinion was the view range. The view range is, for a Russian tank destroyer, pretty darn good. You can see it in the background footage. I am not using optics. I only have vents, rations, and my crew, which has all the crew skills necessary for higher view range. You can use optics obviously, but I don't think it's really necessary. So overall, I have to say this tank, in my opinion, is fun. It's a unique tank design. It is fun to play, and it's premium, so it makes credits. It has a comfortable gun. It has good pen on both rounds, meaning that even in a tier 10 game, you shouldn't have too many issues to actually penetrate people. The major issue is just that you are chunky and you don't have any armor, meaning that you're a glass cannon. But other than that, it has good crew layout, so it's a great crew trainer for the whole Russian tech tree for tank destroyers. It is probably Cookie Baby's favorite vehicle because it doesn't need a rammer, because it can't get a rammer, so you can always run the vents. And for me, yes, it's just a plain old yes. The uniqueness makes it worthwhile, and it's not unique bad like the TL7 has already mentioned. It's unique in a sense that it actually is fun to play. But, again, big but, how much money you actually want to spend for this vehicle, this is up to you. Like, it is in an auction, it is gold, I think it is 9,000 base, there are 30,000 on the EU server, not sure how many on the NA server, so it's up to you how much you're willing to shell out. Definitely this vehicle will once again come sooner or later. Like, it's happened now with the T-22 medium. It will happen with the WZ-111 kill-in. It happened with the TL-7 now, which was in a box, now it came into those auctions. So, this tank will definitely once again be sold. Right now, Wargaming is just trying to milk the early adopters, you know. So, if you want to be an early adopter, go ahead. If you miss out of it, yes, it might be a little bit sad for now, but there are countless other vehicles which are definitely better, but might be a little bit more boring to play. Like the Su-130 PM, definitely better, but might be a little bit more boring to play. In any case, my name is RagingRaptor, thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope you had a lot of fun and learned something. Don't forget to subscribe and like and put in a comment for the algorithm. Goodbye!